Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Fractured Realities. I am your host, Jay Warner. You know, there's certain things that I'll talk about ad nauseum, politics, religion, that type of thing, things that I'm pretty well versed in. But, I mean, that's not the extent of my interests. Like I said, I made a complete video about the truther movement because I'm part of several truther groups, and one of the groups that I'm very proud to be part of, and I actually do some administration work for, is the Mandela Effect researchers. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Mandela Effect is, this isn't really an intro video. So if you want to find out more about the Mandela Effect, there's people who are much more versed on it and who are much more eloquent in their explanation of it. I'd suggest you check out the Mandela Effect researchers have a YouTube page, as well as a friend of mine, I am Laszlo. They talk about it. That is their thing. I'm a little more eclectic when it comes to subject matter. So if you want an intro into it, then that would be my suggestion as a place to start. A lot of times I don't cover too much about the Mandela Effect. Number one, because it's always been a thorn in my side that I couldn't find an explanation. I couldn't just come out and tell you exactly what's causing it. That, and of course I do unedited videos. I don't have video editing equipment, and I don't have time to put a bunch of snippets together and pretty pictures for everybody. And like I said, there's folks that do that, like Laszlo and the Mandela Effect researchers are great about that. They really take time and put together quality videos, unlike myself. So, if you want to know what the Mandela Effect is, it's basically there's a large group of people who remember things a different way. Basically, some have dual sets of memories, some remember things completely different from this present reality that we're in, which is part of the reason that I named this Fractured Realities, because this is very present for somebody who knows, I mean, who's affected by it. Either you're one of two types of people. You're either affected by this or you're not affected by it. Now, if you're one of those people that aren't affected by it, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. You're going to be eye rolling and tinfoil hat commenting and everything else. And it's difficult. I mean, if you wake up one day and you find out that history that you've learned has changed, and quotes from movies, even passages from the Bible and different religious texts have completely changed, which I'm going to, in the future, when I do have time to do a more quality video with some pictures and some visual representations, I'm going to do that on the religious changes. And no, they're not just in the King James Bible. I found literally hundreds. But like I said, I'm going to do that at another time when I'm a little bit more well prepared. And like I said, if you're one of those people that aren't affected by the Mandela Effect, and you try to explain this to somebody, they look at you like you're Jeffrey Dahmer eating a bowl of dicks at Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, it just doesn't compute. It doesn't vibrate with them. They lose interest right away and smirk or make comments or question your mental health, or several other things. So yeah, it's a difficult subject to broach. And like I said, I always looked for answers. And believe it or not, even though I am part of the truther movement and I do look into conspiracy theories, I like to have proof. The things that I talk about aren't theories. They're things that affect me personally. And like I said, the Mandela effect has affected my life personally. I mean, even physical changes within myself. I have scars that weren't there before that have appeared on my body. I'm an inch taller, which you don't grow after the age of 40, so that was pretty weird. My feet got bigger, several other things. I'm not going to go into the full list of details because those are personal effects that wouldn't change your mind one way or the other anyway, but I've always wanted to find an explanation. And the group that I'm part of, the Mandela Effect researchers, that's the main thing, to try to come up with different things. Now, there's lots of theories on what causes the Mandela Effect, but they're all leaps of faith. You have to take a broadband guess. You know, some people say that it's a religious rapture. Other people say that we're living in a simulation. And I'm not disagreeing with any of these theories. But sometimes it may just, in fact, be mad science involved. And I kind of... Well, I'll paraphrase. I was watching a video by a guy named Robert Seffer. If any of you don't know who he is, he runs the Atlantic Guardian's website and YouTube channel. He talks about mostly European, but alternate histories and stuff like that. So I seen that he did a video on time travel, and I thought, wow, this is different. Let me check this out. See what he has to say. And he talked about how time travel is probable. And the way he explained it is he showed an actual video, and I don't know the exact name of the movie, but it was a movie from the early 1960s, and it was about a mad scientist who was a German and a Nazi. And if any of you know anything about occult knowledge or scientific knowledge, and no, I'm not a Nazi advocate or anything like that, so don't even start with the white supremacist comments. But the Germans were very, very advanced in their science. They were way ahead of their time. And the things that this, cheesy, stereotypical German Nazi mad scientist was talking about in this video snippet from the Robert Seffer video were actually scientifically sound. They actually made sense. So I dug in and I listened, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, that could be it. That could be. I had that light bulb moment where I said, hey, this could be what's causing the Mandela effect. And it's actual science. Now, no, I am not a particle physicist, nor am I a scientist or anything else of that nature, but I do know a little bit about it. So before you start debating the science in the comments, please do me a favor and post your degree in astrophysics or particle physicists or whatever you might be. If you're a scientist, I'll listen. So if my science is wrong, please correct me, but make sure that you have the education and the degrees before you just decide that you don't like what I said and it's wrong. Okay, and like I said before, I'll backtrack a little bit here. A lot of people, of course, say that it's a religious thing or that it's a spiritual thing. I've heard the theory that we've died, that in 2012 we passed on, and that this is a simulated reality that we live in, or sort of purgatory between worlds. And well, I do see some proof and some relevance to that, especially when you look at the amount of people who are walking around who just seem to do the same thing. have the same routine, almost like they're NPCs, non-playing characters. They're just playing a part. They have the same, literally, and if you speak to them, yeah, they'll talk to you, but it's the same conversation every time. It's very bizarre. I work in retail, well, as one of my jobs, so I run into the same people, and for 4+ years, I've literally had the same conversation with people every day. They literally buy the same products. They literally walk the same aisles. It's like Groundhog's Day, or like I said, an NPC, like one of the people from Skyrim, just walking around doing the same thing. They will interact with you, but they'll interact on a very limited basis. And that kind of makes you wonder, do we live in a simulation? Hey, anything's possible, but hey, if this is the case, I want to tell the programmers right now, please, come on, man, make this a little more exciting. Throw me some money. Let's put a few more women around me. That'd be great. I'd appreciate it if you would, make my sim not suck so bad. All right, just kidding. My life's great. I don't have any complaints. I'm just being an asshole. Anyway, so I'm watching the video, and the mad scientist is explaining how he discovered time travel. And the way he describes it, first he shows draws out a globe and draws the north and the south, and he explains basically polarity. He says that if you travel north long enough, you're going to hit that northern parallel line, not the equator, that's east-west, but this one, and where instead of going north, you're going to be going south, where up goes down. And I'll explain how this has relevance later on, so just bear with me. And of course, the guy didn't get it. He just yelled at him about being a Nazi and a bad guy, and, typical Hollywood flair. But then he kept describing it, and he brought up light. And here's a little example he did, so I'm just going to reenact this, okay? At this point in science, which was in the 1960s as well as in 2018, there hasn't been found anything that moves faster than the speed of light. I don't know the exact equation of the speed of light, but it's nearly instantaneous. So you want to speed up light. Okay, here we go. You walk over, you hit the light switch, the lights go out. They come back on just as fast as you can light that switch. It's not something that a human mind can register as a speed. To us, it's instantaneous, and maybe the speed of light is instantaneous, and as far as we know, it is. You can't go any faster than that, because light particles only move at a certain speed, and you can't break that threshold. But wait, there's this thing called the Hadron Collider, or the particle accelerator. So now, what would happen if I went to turn that light on, and 3 seconds before I hit that switch, the light came on its own? Well, that would mean that I actually came past that wall of physics and did that, because the speed of light is the fastest speed. So if you go faster than the speed of light, if you accelerate those particles faster than the speed of light, it's literally going to turn on before you hit the switch. Okay, hopefully you're following me here. So, back in 2012, in CERN, they opened up the Hadron Collider, which what they do is they take particles and move them faster, literally, than the speed of light, and they collide them into each other. Now, something that you may not realize is that you can't destroy energy. Energy does not go away. But what happens when you force energy into 2 points, you create what's called like a black hole or dark matter, which literally will suck energy out of something. So they started doing these experiments, and a lot of times they would collide these particles. I've read about several of the experiments, and I suggest you look into CERN yourself. And a lot of times they would form mini black holes. And what happens when you introduce energy to energy? It's going to form 0 point energy. So therefore, that energy that exists in this known reality that we're in is going to get pushed out of that black hole, or at least certain amounts of it. And you move the light faster than the speed of light, so technically you're putting it into the past. So when you collide these particles, you're literally creating a black hole, or the 0 point energy, in another time or another place. So what happens when you introduce energy into a space that already has that energy? That means some of that energy is going to get sucked out of that vortex. Some of that energy is going to disappear. Where does it get placed? Maybe an alternate universe, maybe an alternate galaxy, an alternate reality, whatever you want to call it. But to me, that's the answer. I mean, they have broke the law of physics with the Hadron Collider. They can literally move particles so fast that they move back in time. So what happened? In my opinion, this is just my theory. I believe that when they collided these particles, they opened up a mini layer and certain things went out of it. Now, what else are particular matter? Energy. Okay, and like I said, you can't destroy energy. Energy goes somewhere else. It relocates. It turns into something different. It changes forms, but energy doesn't go away. So when you introduce this energy into an area where there's already energy, some of that is going to go away. Now, what is a soul? Okay, souls don't exist. We go into infinite blackness when we die. Okay, if that's your choice of belief, that's fine. But it is scientifically proven that when somebody dies, they lose 4 ounces. Not 4 ounces of bodily fluids, not 4 ounces of sweat or urine or any other gross secretions that come out of a body post-mortem. There's actually 4 ounces that they lose. And what is that? That, my friends, is your soul. So, some energy had to get pushed back. So when these particles came through and they bounced back into the past, that past reality had to be pushed out. Certain things had to be lost. Maybe those were the people's souls, the people who were affected. Maybe we got pushed through that black hole and we went into this alternate universe, this one that doesn't make any sense, where R2D or where C3PO has a gold or a silver leg and a freaking butthole, or where Mohammed's sucking on boys' tongues, or where Kali and Shiva switch places. And I mean, I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. We were once in Sagittarius's arm, then we were in Orion's spur. Now I don't even know what part of the galaxy we're in now. This is the 3rd time this has changed. Houston, we had a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Anyway, that's my theory. It makes sense to me. It might not make sense to anybody else. And hey, I'm always open to new ideas. Please share with me in the comments. But I think that science caused it. I believe that it was CERN. I believe that those particles were pushed through when they created their little mini black holes with antimatter, and the energy that we form, the little neurons that go on and bounce around in our brains, those memories were shifted, or maybe some were added. Or maybe we were shifted to an alternate reality through that. Maybe part of that energy that had to be moved was that 4 ounces that make your soul. Maybe our souls got pushed into something, and they're forms that are very similar to what we are, but they're not exactly the same. There's changes. I'm not the same person that I always remember being. And I'm not talking about mental changes, I'm talking about physical changes. Name changes, name spelling changes. People coming off and saying the same things at 2 different times, but swearing they never did. Then you look it up and you research it, and boom, it's gone. I don't think that this is a huge conspiracy by Google. I don't think that this is an Illuminati, as you people are so quick to scream out, or a New World Order thing. Because, hey, here's another fact. In the reality that I was from, the international bankers were called the Rothschilds. Now, their name is spelled the Roth's child. So, the changes aren't unique just with us plebes. Even the higher members of society and the blue bloods. Jacob Rothschild himself's name has changed. So yes, they affect everything in every aspect of life. And why? I think that CERN didn't know what they were doing, at least not at first when they started. They've been doing it for 6 years now, and who knows how many times they've sent this 0 point energy in these little mini black holes back into the past. And boom, shifted us into another reality. Threw in memories, or maybe push some of the memories from those alternate realities into our minds. I mean, this can go several different ways, but I do believe that this is part of it. I mean, this is so far after, probably about 4 years of research, this is the best conclusion that I can come up with. This is my light bulb moment. Now, this might explain it, not explain it for everybody, or people have their theories and their dogma that they want to grab onto and say, this is what caused it. It's Armageddon, it's Satan, it's the Illuminati. Believe what you want to believe, but that is a sound scientific explanation. When you push matter out of the universe through a black hole, that matter's got to go somewhere. Those particles have to move somewhere. And since you're pushing them past the speed of light, literally you're pushing them into the past. Because there is nothing faster than the speed of light. So you push particles into the past, you're introducing new particles, and you're moving things around there. So you're changing reality, you're changing books, you're changing text. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. And you're pushing things that were in that reality out. So you can exchange energy, but you can't destroy energy. It's got to go somewhere. Don't believe me? Read a book on physics. It's simple. Like I said, this is my explanation. This is what I personally believe is causing the Mandela effect. I believe that matter has changed from one reality to another one. And hey, if you personally you're saying, oh, different realities, that's not proven. Watch the videos on the D-Wave. They literally in the videos say that they're borrowing computing power from another dimension. So this is practical science in 2018. It might have been science fiction in 1960 when this video was out, but it's practical science now. We've broke that wall. We've came past an infinite point. When you go past an infinite point, you open up and you create new realities. You create new paradoxes. And this is my opinion of what happened. And I'll leave it off there. I'm not going to babble on too much about it and keep repeating myself. So let me know in the comments what you think, if this sounds reasonable or feasible to you. And in the future, I will be doing more discussions on the Mandela effect. But like I said, I want to have a better presentation to bring forward. But hey, share your thoughts with me. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. I grew up in Cleveland. I'm used to disappointment and ridicule. Anyway, love you all, and we'll see you next time when the next light bulb clicks on. Thank you all. Stay awake. Goodbye.